The world is changing, you lot. The world is changing, okay? Gone are the days where governments could actually do shit to people, okay? Now, I am just observing what's happening in America because Americans have realized just how oppressed they are because that American dream. So, here's the thing. Now, the government passed a law or a mandate to say that TikTok is getting banned in America on the 19th of January. And because many Americans, 180 million to be precise, given that America has how many? About 300 million. So I would say about 2/3 of people in America use and are heavily dependent on TikTok for their news, for their outlet, basically, to share stories and to see a window of the world. And they also make money on it. So some people supplement their income via TikTok. So the government decided to ban it because it was influencing Americans' perspective, especially on the crisis in the Middle East. And they called it as a threat to national security because Americans are actually getting the real story from actual people outside of America. And people have shunned like media. Whilst Meta still claiming that they are pro free speech, and we know what happened to X, basically, they obviously stood to gain from people being forced out of TikTok, and they actually thought that Zuckerberg thought actually these people were going to come flooding to him. And guess what has happened? Those Americans on TikTok, anticipating the ban, have downloaded a Chinese app, an actual Chinese app called Rednote. And this app, like, we'd never heard of it. Up until yesterday, I'd never heard of it. So now Americans are calling themselves refugees, and millions and millions of them have gone over to this app, Rednote app. Not only that, the Chinese, seeing the opportunity, have very quickly converted it to English. Some Chinese people are very, very quickly doing lessons on how to download the app because, like, it's like I downloaded it because I need to keep an eye on what's happening, man. So I downloaded it, and it was all in Chinese. Like, when you have to log in, you have to match an image. And I didn't even know what I had to do because it was all in Chinese characters. And by the time I came back 2 hours later, it was in English. Okay, it was in English. The population, for the first time in history, are ahead of the game. It are converted to English, and Chinese people are allying themselves with Americans, and they are offering each other. So some of the people are getting DMs from Chinese people saying, please let me practice my English on you. And the Americans are like, yes, please teach me Mandarin so I can operate the app. This is unprecedented. And the ban hasn't even come into force. And guess what happened to Meta? Guess what happened to Meta?